Hello, it's me again, and today we're going to be remembering the story on how I set my best friend up with someone who we think is sexually attracted to her best friend. Like, she was the type of person to say Michael Jackson didn't touch more kids than Joe Biden. Like, that's messed up. We all know Michael Jackson is the ultimate kid fiddler. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Deal with it. Right, so this story takes place back in year 7. I have a massive friend group, you see. So by massive, I mean like 8 people, and we're split up all throughout the year. Like, at least one friend is in one class. And I was only close with one who was like still my best friend. So I was pretty weirded out when me and the guy who I'm going to call Max started speaking to me. So me and him became like normal friends. And it turns out that he actually liked the girl that I sat next to in science class, who I'm going to call Rachel for this story. I only spoke to Rachel when she needed answers to science questions, so I didn't know her that well. We basically just were acquaintances, and Max sat behind us in that particular class. And once when she went to the toilet, Max tapped me on the back of the shoulder with his pencil and asked me if Rachel and me were a thing and stuff, because I always speak to her and explain the substances and stuff, and I had to reassure him that we were nothing alike that. And so I became his best wingman money could buy, although I was like a free wingman, you know. Like, I'd get the questions to the answers and say that I copied him. Like, I was such a cool kid. And so one day he actually asked her out, and she said yes. And so my work there was done. But on Saturday, you know, Saturday's reserved for the boys, I was playing with one of them, who I'm going to call Charlie. And we were on Xbox Party Chat, playing some Rocket League when it wasn't free. And 9-year-olds weren't, like, Fortnite bombing the game. And I get called from Snapchat, and I was really confused, because if you actually call someone through Snapchat, you were wrong and get a life. But it was Max, basically. And he was asking if, like, I could go out that day. And I was like, hell yeah. Then I got a message from his girlfriend saying, Max wants you to come out. I was like, I thought it was just going to be, like, me and them. So I asked if, like, I could bring Charlie along, and they said, yeah. So, like, I was like, all right, let's go. And by they, like, what I thought was, like, I thought it was Max, Rachel, me and Charlie. But the reason Max had asked us to come out, and us particularly, is because we were the only two who actually knew. But, like, the reason he asked us to, like, go out was because, like, her best friend was there. Like, before he asked if we could go out, like, it was him, his girlfriend, and his girlfriend, and her best friend. Like, I mean, poor Max, he probably thought it was a date, and her best friend was there, so, like, me and Charlie head out, and, like, Autobots roll out, and we get to the town area, like, skipping the fact I nearly got hit by a train and Max nearly got hit by a car, like, we get to, like, to the next day, and it's Sunday. I'm tired, but I don't want him alone with him and his girlfriend's bestie Boo and his girlfriend. So I head out to town and meet them at the park, and this carries on until, like, we go to his girlfriend's house to dye Max's hair. And whilst we're there, he takes, like, me aside, and apparently she was getting mad, like, between messages sent between him and a girl from 1 year ago. And it was like 1 year ago. Don't flatter yourself, woman. He wasn't planning on marrying you. He's like 11. Calm down. And then, like, a couple days later, we then find out she had showered with 2 of her best friends, like, 3 weeks ago. And we were making jokes, like, no wonder they were so close. And then we find out that, like, they had, like, masturbated together. Like, what? Like, they'd shown each other their private parts, which is, like, ultimate sussery. like sussery. So my friend Max ends the relationship because it was like awkward, and then she got jealous from like 1 year ago and showered with her best friend that same day. Like, we interrupt this broadcast to remind you that I just fucking deleted a voiceover, so now I have to repeat what I just fucking said, and now I'm upset now because it shows I won't have as much enthusiasm as I did the first time. Why is my screen frozen? I'm trying to look at the script. There we are. Let me just get... Okay. Although they have broken up, they bought cinema tickets in advance, so my friend Max had pretended to be my little brother for us to actually get in the cinema, and it worked because he's like kind of tiny, and those two girls were a social bubble, which me and Max should have pretended to be instead of brothers. Well, we sat through the film in silence, you know, because that's what you're doing, like, when you're watching a film. Unless you're going to make a funny joke, then don't speak. And then they, like, got pissed at us, like, for not speaking. Then I became an owl and carried messages back and forth, like, and then I got pissed and bored. And me and Max ended up going home. Like, we haven't really spoken properly, like, apart from when that I got rejected from a girl crying at the idea of dating me. That hurt my self-esteem. And also, if your name is Dark's Commentary, this is for you. I've interrupted this broadcast. This message is for you. You're not fucking 5'6". You're 5'4" at the most, so shut the fuck up. Yeah, same old. There will be a link to the channel in the description for the guy who is 5'4". And I'm going to roll out the outro now by... I still can't read this. I get that I'm dyslexic, but how the fuck have I messed up spelling this badly? Ignore the fact I sound like a cringy, like, 2010 guy pace.